Now work it!
Dave Allen was a popular comedian and actor who was known for his unique style of humor and his ability to connect with audiences. In 2005, he passed away at age 68 due to complications from pneumonia. His death was a shock to fans and to his family, who were left to deal with the aftermath. Join us as Facts First UK presents Dave Allen's cause of death was tragic. He left his family behind. Dave Allen's early life. Dave Allen was a legendary comedian born in Dublin, Ireland on July 6, 1936. He was the youngest of 3 children and grew up in a working-class family. His father was a journalist, his mother a nurse. Allen attended school in Dublin but dropped out at age 14 to work as a messenger boy for the Irish Independent newspaper. His interest in comedy began early on. He was a fan of the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy, and he would often perform impressions of them for his friends and family. In the early 50s, he began performing in amateur theatrical productions in Dublin. In 1959, Allen moved to London to pursue a career in comedy. He began performing in clubs and pubs around the city and quickly gained a reputation for his irreverent humor and ability to connect with audiences. How Dave Allen got into show business. Allen's big break came in 1963 when he was invited to appear on the BBC television show The Val Doonican Show. His performance was a hit, and he was soon offered his own television show, Dave Allen at Large, which aired from 1971 to 79. It was a groundbreaking show that featured Allen's irreverent humor and willingness to tackle controversial topics. The show was a hit with audiences and helped establish him as one of the most popular comedians in the UK. Besides his unique sense of humor, his distinctive appearance was another thing that helped him garner attention. He had a missing finger on his left hand, which he often used as a prop in his comedy routines. He also had a distinctive way of holding a cigarette, which became a trademark of his act. Allen's appearance helped him stand out in the crowded world of comedy and entertainment. His missing finger and interesting cigarette-holding style made him instantly recognizable to audiences, establishing a strong brand identity. This, in turn, helped him build a loyal fan base. In addition to his television work, Allen was also a talented actor and writer. He appeared in several films, including The Strange Case of the End of Civilization as We Know It and The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie. He also wrote several books, including his autobiography, Dave Allen, the Autobiography, published in 1999. Dave Allen pushed boundaries with his comedy. Allen's comedy was often controversial as he tackled topics that were considered taboo at the time. One of his most famous jokes was about his wife, whom he married in 1964. He would often joke about their marriage, saying that he had been married for, quote, 32 years, but not to the same woman. This joke was a favorite among his fans, and it became one of his signature lines. Allen's wife, Karen Stark, was a Danish model whom he met while performing in Copenhagen. The couple had 2 children together, a son named Edward and a daughter named Jane. Despite Allen's jokes about their marriage, the couple remained together until his death in 2005. Allen's legacy as a comedian and entertainer continues to live on today. His irreverent humor and ability to make audiences laugh with witty observations have made him a beloved figure in the world of comedy. Despite his passing in 2005, his jokes and his legacy continue to inspire. One of the reasons for his enduring legacy was his ability to connect with audiences across generations. His humor was timeless, and his jokes still resonate with audiences today. This is evident in the fact that his comedy continues to be broadcast on television and radio, and his jokes are still shared on social media. Another reason for his lasting impact was his willingness to tackle controversial topics. He wasn't afraid to take on religion, politics, and social issues, and his jokes often pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable. This fearlessness paved the way for future generations of comedians to tackle taboo subjects and challenge societal norms. Allen's influence can be seen in the work of many contemporary comedians. His legacy has inspired a new generation of comedians to push the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in comedy and to use humor as a tool for social commentary. One comedian who's been inspired by Dave is Frankie Boyle, a Scottish comedian known for his dark and often offensive humor. Boyle has cited Dave Allen as a major influence on his work, particularly in his willingness to tackle taboo subjects and challenge societal norms. Another comedian who's been inspired by Dave Allen is Jimmy Carr. an English comedian known for his sharp wit and controversial jokes. Carr has cited Allen as one of his comedy heroes and has even performed a tribute to him on stage. Other comedians who have been influenced by Allen include Bill Hicks, Doug Stanhope, and Jim Jeffries. These comedians share his willingness to tackle controversial subjects and push the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in comedy. Dave Allen suffered during his final years. Dave Allen's final years were marked by declining health and a reduced public profile. He suffered from a series of health problems, including a stroke in 1995 that left him partially paralyzed and forced him to retire from performing. Despite his health problems, Allen continued to work on various projects, including a series of documentaries for the BBC. It was during this time that he wrote his autobiography. The BBC documentaries included Dave Allen, God's Own Comedian, and Dave Allen, The Immaculate Selection. The documentaries explored his life and career, featuring interviews with friends, family, and fellow comedians. In his final years, his quality of life was reportedly quite poor. He was confined to a wheelchair and had difficulty speaking due to his stroke. He also suffered from emphysema, a lung disease that made it difficult for him to breathe. On March 10, 2005, he passed away at age 68. He died peacefully in his sleep at his home in London. His death was a great loss to his family, friends, and fans. He was survived by his wife Karen and their 3 children, Jane, Edwina, and Jonathan. In the years since his death, his family has spoken publicly about the impact his passing had on them. In an interview with The Guardian in 2015, his daughter Jane spoke about the difficulty of losing her father, saying, quote, "It's a strange thing to lose a parent who is so public. You feel like you're sharing him with the world." She also spoke about the legacy her father left behind, saying he was a very private man, but also generous with his time and talent. How has Dave Allen's family responded to his death? Dave Allen's son Jonathan has also spoken publicly about his father's death. In an interview with the Irish Times in 2015, he said, quote, "He was a great dad. He was always there for us, and he was always making us laugh." He also spoke about the difficulty of losing his father, saying, quote, "It was a very difficult time for us. We were all very close to him, and it was hard to imagine life without him." But Dave Allen's family has continued to celebrate his life and legacy. In 2018, his daughter Jane curated an exhibition of his work at the Museum of Comedy in London, which featured some of his most iconic sketches and routines. Another notable effect of his passing was that his wife Karen faced financial difficulties. Dave was the primary breadwinner for the family, and his sudden death left Karen without a source of income. She had to deal with the expenses associated with his funeral and the loss of his income, which put a significant strain on her finances. She spoke in an interview about the challenges she faced, saying she had to sell their family home and downsize to a smaller apartment to make ends meet. She also had to rely on the support of friends and family to get through the difficult time. But despite this, Karen has continued to honor her husband's legacy and keep his memory alive. She's also been involved in charitable work, including supporting organizations that help people with disabilities, a cause important to Dave Allen. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Dave Allen had a real-life injury that he exploited for comedic purposes? Let us know in the comments section below.